First thing that great students do when it comes to studying smart is scheduling their study sessions, breaking their time down. A lot of us, we fail to understand that time is actually something you can control. What do I mean by this? Well, what I mean is you have 24 hours in a day, 86,400 seconds. And the person who has planned and prepared every single one of those to the best of their ability, they're going to get more out of their time. So the first thing you need to sit down and do is schedule throughout the week, from Monday to Friday, on Saturday and Sunday, in your evenings, in your mornings, in your breaks between lessons. What studying are you going to do? Which topic are you going to focus on? So that when you sit down at the desk, you haven't left anything to chance, but you've scheduled in exactly what you're going to do. So it requires less brain power, precious brain power that you need to focus on learning, to focus on studying effectively. It's not used up in deciding what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. It's already laid out for you. I want you to imagine the life of an athlete, the life of a boxer preparing for his final fight. They don't leave these things to chance. Their meals, their training regimen, the things that they need to work on has been planned beforehand, and you can use the people around you to help you do that. The second thing that you need to focus on is what we call the Ebbinghaus curve. And basically what it means is you forget things over time. So if you learn something today, tomorrow you may remember 50% of it. The day after you may remember 25%. And within a week, you might only remember 5%. That's the way that your brain works. The quicker you understand this, the quicker you can factor this in to your studying regimen. So let's take a look at this. You use a technique called spaced repetition. So if you study a topic on day 1, you want to come back to it on day 3, day 5, day 7, and space your repetition out. The more you repeat things, the deeper the memory becomes. And that brings us to the next tip, which is depth of processing. When you take in information, if you want to remember it more effectively, a very powerful way of doing this is to remix that, is to change that information. So if you're looking at information in a textbook, think of a rhyme, think of a pattern, maybe make a video, maybe make a colored diagram, an illustration to help you to change that information, to help you remember it at a deeper level. You don't just want to read it and study it and then regurgitate. You want to change it in some way. So the next thing is get to your spot. And what I mean by this is, what is the space, the place, the environment that you're the most productive in, that you're the most focused in? One of the things that we forget as human beings is that we are influenced by our environment. The kind of student that you are in your classroom is different to the kind of student that you're going to be in your bed. When you're under the covers and you've got your laptop on your lap, you're going to be more productive in one area than another. So find out what that is for you and make sure you get to that spot as quickly as possible. Most of the difficulty when it comes to studying is not in the studying itself. It's in the activation energy required. I talked about this in the previous video that I did with this channel. Go ahead and go and check that one out. Sometimes we focus on getting more motivation, improving our techniques, and trying to fuel our rocket ship even more. But another way of making your studying more effective is to remove the resistance, to cut out the distractions like social media. So don't have your phone next to you, turn it off, put it in a different room. Remove any kind of distraction, and I'm talking about people, your dog. Put your dog in a different room if you have a pet or an animal that distracts you. Go somewhere where you cannot be distracted, and the only single thing that you can do is focus on the most important thing, and the most important thing is studying, revising, learning, removing those distractions, so less effort and energy is required for you to focus, and you can use it on what's important. And that brings me to the next point. You want to work at 2 levels. So increase your fuel and your motivation to study. Think about and write down, tell people why you're doing this. I'm doing this because I want to become a doctor, an engineer, an entrepreneur, a social activist, a campaigner. And at the same time, remove the blocks that are stopping you. Remove the activation energy required for you to start studying. So before you go to bed at night, have your notebook out and ready on your desk. Make sure it's free of any clutter. Even have the pen ready. So the only thing you have to do is sit down and start taking notes. You don't even have to write the title or the date, because those things are already done. And what you want to realize here is that success is a setup. It's not an accident. So make it happen that way. Plan and set yourself up for success.